Let me begin with a warning. A quiet one, but a serious one. If you don't take time to focus on, you might lose everything. I've seen it happen. To good people, to smart people, to people who meant well, they were busy chasing everything else. And they forgot to chase themselves. So here's the question: what happens when you build a life, but you don't build yourself? What happens when you give everything away, but you never give back to you? You give to your job, you give to your family, you give to your friends, you give to your habits, you give to your comfort. And what's left? You see, it's easy to drift. It doesn't happen all at once. You don't lose it all in a day. You lose it through small decisions. One distraction, one delay, one excuse, and soon you're living a life you never chose. Carrying weight you never agreed to carry. Settling for less than you were built for. So here's my message today. You must make yourself a project. You must make your growth a priority, not an afterthought. You've got to become more valuable to the marketplace. But first, become more valuable to yourself. Because if you lose yourself, you lose your energy, you lose your clarity, you lose your edge. And if you lose your edge, you stop growing. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. That one sentence changed my life. Because better opens doors, better leads the way, better earns trust, confidence, better attracts success. So today, let's begin again. Not by fixing the world, but by strengthening the foundation. That foundation is you, your thinking, your decisions, your habits, your standards. It's not about being selfish. It's about being responsible. Because the best gift you can give the people around you is a strong, focused version of you. This is not a motivational talk. This is a challenge to wake up, to tune in, to take back control. Focus on yourself before the distractions take it all. Before regret knocks, before the years slip, there's still time. But only if you start now. Let's get to work. Let me tell you something that took me years to learn. If you don't build yourself first, the world will take from you until there's nothing left. That's not a theory. That's experience. I watched people give their time to everyone but themselves. I watched them pour into their job, their family, their friends, and wake up one day wondering who they were. Now, don't get me wrong. Serving others is noble. Caring for people, that matters. But you can't give what you don't have. You can't light the way for others when your fire has gone out. You must take care of the goose that lays the golden egg. And you are that goose. If you don't protect it, nurture it, feed it, the golden eggs stop coming. You see, most people are living from the outside in, responding, trying to hold everything together. But the secret to real change is this: you live life from the inside out. It's not about changing your circumstances. It's about changing you. Because when you change, everything changes. When I was a young man, I was broke. Not just financially, broke in my thinking. I had excuses. I had blame. I had bad habits. Then someone handed me a phrase that changed my life forever. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I didn't understand it at first. I thought success was something you chased. Now I know better. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So I made a decision. I said, that's it. I'm going to stop waiting for the world to change. And I went to work. Not on my company. Not on my bank account. Not on my problems. I went to work on me. Because here's the true thing. If your foundation is weak, you can't build much on it. But if your foundation is strong, you can weather any storm. And storms will come. Life has a way of testing you. It pushes. It pulls. It will try to knock the wind out of you. But when you've built yourself, your discipline, your values, your emotional strength, you won't just survive. You'll grow. Let me ask you something. What would happen if you treated your personal development like your most important job? What if you scheduled time every day to build your mind, your health, your vision? What if you invested in you the way you invest in everything else? It's amazing what happens when you do. You walk straighter. You speak clearer. You think better. And suddenly, the world starts responding to you differently. because people can feel it. They can feel when you've put in the work. They respect it. They're drawn to it. Not because you're better than them, but because you remind them of what's possible. So here's the question you have to ask today. What kind of person do I need to become to deserve the life I want? Not wish for it, not hope for it, deserve it. That word, deserve, is powerful because it means you've paid the price. You've earned the right. You built the habits. You made the sacrifices. You showed up when it was hard. And the universe takes notice of that kind of discipline. There are two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Choose discipline now so you don't have to live with regret later. Start build today. Because if you don't build yourself, the world will gladly tear you down. And I don't want that for you. You've got what it takes. You just have to decide to go to work on you. You can tell a lot about someone by the state of their room. You can tell even more by the state of their habits. Discipline is where the change begins. Not just in business, not just in money, but in your mindset, your attitude, your health, your character. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, everything begins to crumble. Slowly, quietly, then suddenly the walls start falling in. You see, most people don't lose their future all at once. They lose it a little at a time. A day missed here, a decision postponed there, a promise made to themselves that they never kept. That's how the mess begins. And here's the truthy, you can't clean up your life until you clean up your habits. Discipline doesn't start on the outside. It starts on the inside with the decision to take control of what you can. When I was 25, I met a man who changed my life. He asked me a question. He said, "Jim, how tall will the weeds grow?" I said, "As tall as they want." And that's the problem. If you don't deliberately plant flowers, you get weeds by default. Not just in your garden, in your finances, in your relationships, in your body, in your mind. If you don't manage it, it gets out of control. You've got to be the manager, the caretaker, the architect of your own habits. A discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's not convenient, even when nobody's watching. Because here's the dialogue. Discipline is remembering what you want. Want a better body? Then the discipline is in what you eat and how you move. Want more income? Then the discipline is in how you work and what you learn. Want peace of mind? Then the discipline is in what you allow into your thoughts. You don't get a clean life by accident. You get it by showing up with a broom and going to work. Every day. I know people who think motivation is enough. But motivation fades, discipline stays. Motivation gets you going. Discipline keeps you growing. It's what gets you up at 5. When you feel like sleeping until 7, it's what pushes you to read instead of scroll. It's what helps you save instead of spend. Train instead of complain. Act instead of delay. Now let me be clear. Discipline isn't perfection. It's progress. It's falling down and getting back up with more wisdom. It's failing and saying, "I'll do better next time." It's understanding that even the smallest improvement today can create the biggest change over time. Every clean drawer, every finished book, every early morning, every no to distraction, every yes to effort. All of that adds up. Brick by brick, you rebuild. Layer by layer, you clean up the mess. Until one day you wake up and realize you're not the same person anymore. You're sharper, stronger, calmer, clearer. And people around you begin to notice. Not because you told them, but because they can feel the results of your quiet discipline. They see it in your words, your walk, your work. That's how you lead. That's how you grow. That's how you change. So if your life feels messy right now, start small. Pick one corner and clean it up. Pick one habit and make it solid. And remember this. When you develop discipline, the world begins to trust you more. Because the one who controls themselves can handle anything else. So don't wait for things to settle. Make the decision. Set the standard. Clean it up. Because when you control your habits, you begin to control your destiny. And that, my friend, is where greatness begins. We live in a world where it's easier than ever to see what everyone else is doing, what they drive, where they vacation, how they look, how much they make. And if you're not careful, you'll start measuring your worth by their scoreboard. You'll forget your own path, your own values, your own timing. And that's dangerous. Let me tell you something important. Comparison is the thief of joy and the destroyer of discipline. When you compare yourself to others, you lose track of who you're becoming. You see, success isn't about being ahead of someone else. It's about being ahead of where you used to be. Now let's get honest here. Everyone starts somewhere. And everyone's got a different somewhere. Different childhood, different beliefs, different pain, different advantages. So it makes no sense to compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 10. I learned this the hard way. There was a time I looked around and thought I was falling behind. I saw others doing better, earning more, achieving faster. And for a while, I let that bother me. But then I realized something. You don't get better by looking out the window. You get better by looking in the mirror. If you want real progress, you've got to stop comparing and start taking responsibility. Because here's the truth: in your life is yours to design. No one is going to live it for you. No one is going to come rescue you. No one is going to hand it to you. You've got to decide what success means to you. You've got to build your own scoreboard. And that means asking better questions. Not, why aren't I where they are? But, am I better than I was yesterday? Not, why did they get lucky? But, what can I learn that will make me sharper? You see, if you take your eyes off their path and focus on your own, you'll realize something powerful. You've always had everything you need to build a life of meaning. It's not about luck. It's not about popularity. It's about responsibility. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary. Now, I'm going to give you something practical. Next time you feel like comparing yourself to someone else, do this. Ask yourself, what are they doing that I admire? Ask, how can I turn that into fuel for my own growth? Then say, their success has nothing to do with my journey. Because it doesn't. Your time will come if you keep planting. Your breakthrough will happen if you stay consistent. Your reward will arrive if you stay focused. But if you keep looking sideways, you'll trip, you'll stall, you'll resent others, and eventually you'll resent yourself. That's not the way to live. Let me give you one of my favorite principles. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. That means stop watching others win and start working on yourself. Read another book. Wake up earlier. Take care of your body. Build a better routine. Ask more questions. Track your progress. Because the best way to silence comparison is with clarity. Clarity about where you're going. Clarity about what matters. Clarity about who you want to become. Once that's clear, comparison loses its grip. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore others completely. There's value in watching someone who inspires you. But don't copy their life. Learn from it. And then return to your own blueprint. You've got something special in you, but it won't grow in the soil of comparison. It needs your attention, your patience, your self-belief. The clock is ticking. And it's not waiting for you to catch up with anyone else. It's waiting for you to catch up with yourself. Take ownership. Run your race. Be proud of small progress. And never forget, your responsibility is to you first. And when you truly embrace that, you'll stop comparing. You'll start building. And soon, you'll wake up in a life you designed with your own two hands. One of the greatest threats to your future isn't failure. It's distraction. Not the big, loud failures. No, it's the quiet, constant distractions that steal your time, your energy, and your purpose. You see, your life is a reflection of what you choose to focus on. If your attention is scattered, your results will be scattered too. If your focus is weak, your future will suffer. Let's make this clear: focus is your superpower, but only if you protect it. In this world, distraction is everywhere. Notifications, drama, opinions, excuses. Every time you pick up your phone for no reason, you're trading progress for entertainment. Every time you engage in gossip, you're trading energy for emptiness. Every time you say yes to things that don't matter, you say no to your dreams. So what's the solution? You build a gate, and you stand guard at the door of your mind. You ask, does this move me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, you walk away. If it doesn't align with your purpose, you delete it. If it doesn't build you, you stop feeding it. I always like to say, stand guard at the door of your mind. And I meant it. Because your focus determines your direction. And your direction determines your destination. Let's talk about attention. Attention is energy. And energy is life. If you waste your attention, you waste your life. If you invest your attention, you create a better life. See the difference. Now, people ask me, Jim, how do I stay focused when everything around me is moving so fast? Here's my answer. You slow down on purpose. You unplug. You reflect. You write your goals again. You review your day. You ask better questions. You remove what doesn't matter so you can magnify what does. Discipline is a form of protection. When you protect your focus with discipline, you keep distractions out. You train your brain to follow direction. And soon your life follows suit. So here's a practical challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, reach for your journal. Before you open the world's opinions, open your own thoughts. Before you chase everybody else's expectations, review your own goals. Because if you don't control your focus, someone else will. And that's the truth. You'll be pulled in every direction. You'll become reactive. You'll be stressed, but not productive. Busy, but not effective. You see, life is short, and time doesn't wait. That's why it's so important to protect what matters most. Let me give you a simple rule. Say no more often. Say no to distractions. Say no to low-value habits. Say no to people who drain your purpose. Say no to your old excuses. Say no to anything that steals your focus from the person you're trying to become. And when you do that, you start to build momentum. You start to get clear. You start to feel aligned. And most importantly, you begin to trust yourself again. Now here's something else. Protecting your focus also means managing your environment. If your environment pulls you down, change it. If the people around you distract you from your goals, distance yourself. If your space is messy, clean it. You can't build a focused mind in a cluttered life. So clean it up. Create space. Create structure. Create intention. Then watch how quickly your future begins to change. Because the future doesn't just happen. It's created, daily, deliberately, and with focus. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And that includes the discipline of protecting your focus. So today, ask yourself, what am I allowing into my mind? What am I choosing to give my energy to? What distractions need to go? So my purpose can grow, because your future is waiting. And it depends on what you focus on right now. Let me begin by saying this clearly: life is not an accident. Your future is not left to chance. It's not something that just happens to you. It is something you design. You craft it with intention and purpose. Yet, how many people go through life drifting, wandering through days, weeks, and years without a plan, waiting for something to happen, waiting for luck to find them? I tell you, luck has very little to do with success. Success is the natural result of deliberate design. It begins with your vision, the picture you paint of your ideal life. But vision alone is not enough. You must build, create. You must take the raw materials of your habits, your decisions, your actions, and place them carefully, one by one. Imagine building a house. Would you ever try to build a house by throwing bricks in the air and hoping they land just right? Of course not. You build with a plan. You lay a foundation. You place each brick with care. You measure, you adjust. You stay consistent. Your life is no different. The bricks you lay each day are your choices, your actions, your thoughts. If you want a life of success, happiness, and fulfillment, then you must be deliberate about the bricks you place. This means the small things matter. They matter a lot. The small habit of waking up early to read. The small discipline of saving a portion of your income. The small act of choosing healthy food over convenience. The small decision to say no to distractions. None of these may seem earth-shattering on their own, but over time they build the life you desire. I often say, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without discipline, your goals are just wishes. With discipline, your goals become reality. Think about it. The richest, most successful people in the world didn't get there overnight. They built their lives brick by brick, day by day. So, what does this mean for you? First, get clear about your vision. Be specific. Write it down. What kind of life do you want? What kind of person do you want to be? Don't settle for vague ideas like, I want to be happy, or I want to be successful. Get detailed. What does success look like in your career? What kind of relationships do you want? How do you want to spend your time? What habits do you need to cultivate to become that person? Once you have clarity, break that vision into manageable steps. This is where most people get stuck. They think the goal is so big and overwhelming that they never start. Remember, a giant wall is just many bricks stacked carefully. You don't need to build it all at once. You only need to lay the next brick. Ask yourself, what is the next best action I can take today to move closer to my vision? Then do it. Tomorrow, do it again. And again the next day. Soon, you'll have a strong foundation, a solid structure, a life built by your own hands. Now, I want to address a common misconception. People think that building their ideal life means working harder and harder every day without rest. That's not true. Designing your life also means designing your rest. It means balance. It means learning when to push and when to pause. You cannot build a strong house without a strong foundation. And that foundation is your health. Mental, physical, and emotional. Protect it. As you build your life brick by brick, remember to invest in yourself. Read books. Learn new skills. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Because the person you become is just as important as the life you create. You can't separate the two. Here's a quote I want you to remember. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. The challenges you face in building your life are opportunities to grow stronger. Each brick you lay may come with struggle, but that struggle builds character. And character is the cornerstone of success. Let me also remind you, expect setbacks. Expect days when the bricks don't fit perfectly. Days when you miss a step or lose momentum. It's okay. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is that the successful don't quit. They adjust, they learn, they keep building, one brick at a time, one day at a time. Finally understand that your life is your responsibility. No one else can build it for you. No one else can live your dreams. It's your masterpiece, your legacy, your story. So take control, design with intention, build with care. And when you look back years from now, you will see a life that reflects your best efforts, your deepest dreams, and your highest values. Remember, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. That includes the discipline of building your life step by step, brick by brick. Start today. Lay your next brick. Design the life you want. Because the best time to build your future was yesterday. The second best time is now.